walk in?
Please walk in. Get up here.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I got music for you. His asshole is himself.
But I swear it, Janet. The future is ours, so let's plan it, Janet. So please, don't tell me to
You know
can't.
that voice, right?
I've one thing to say, and that's Janet. Janet, I love you. The road was long, but I ran it. If there's a
Run
fire
it.
in my heart and you'll fan it.
Hello, how are you today, sir?
I don't know yet. This is way too early for a kid.
Amen.
You guys awake?
No.
You're still hungover from last night, aren't you? You are? Raise your hands if you're still hungover. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. The rest of you are, what? Are you teetotalers or you just do a lot of drugs? I don't know. You're very colorful. Thank you for doing that. Who are you? Turn around. Turn up.
She's Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I know nothing about this genre. I don't really watch these movies because I have a wife. And they scare the shit out of her. So I can't, even if I want to see one, I'd have to wait till she was gone somewhere. And then, by then I'm doing my hobbies or things, because I'm a ceramicist, I'm a potter. And I'd rather spend the time in my studio than, freaking myself out
You can do both.
on horror movies. Also, I think that it's when you've done a few of them, which I have, Tales of Halloween, did you guys see that?
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even bring any pictures of
Right?
that.
I was asking you.
I guess I didn't know where I was going, right? I thought,
Well, now you know.
I should have brought that. I should have brought supernatural pictures.
Yeah.
Yay!
How about
I should have brought.
Hallelujah, the Devil's Carnival. Mm-hmm.
But nobody's asked me for Metal Beast picture yet. Has anybody seen Metal Beast? Yes, one person. God bless you. Did you see Kane Hodder is here, right? Well, he was the Metal Beast, as you know. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that. Kim Delaney was in it with me. Beautiful woman. And we did it for Christmas money, basically. Sometimes you do movies like that just for the hell of, just for the paycheck. And I must admit that was one of them. But thank you for watching it. Was it any good? I don't think I ever saw it.
It wasn't your finest moment, but it wasn't bad.
Woo! We got a snack.
Thank you. Did she just say it wasn't my finest moment?
She did. Honesty.
Why did I even point her out?
You asked the question.
Huge mistake, I must say. But no, you must all go see Metal Beast. And does anybody have a pen like a, what is that? That's not. I want like one of those ink pen, like one of those Sharpies.
Mike, do we have a Sharpie?
Jeff, can you give me a black Sharpie, please? I want to stick it in her eye.
The ball pen doesn't work for you?
Yeah, ball pen. That doesn't quite go in deep enough as the Sharpie. I would never do that to you unless we were filming it. Okay. Who's got a camera?
Right there and right there.
Yeah.
So she'll have to come up.
So here we are, and now you know I don't like Days of the Dead kind of films, and I'm a potter, and I do these things occasionally for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I don't think any of you have seen. Oh, you have? Well, we made that movie 46 years ago. And what's amazing about it,
Hey, we have your Sharpie.
oh, thank you. What's amazing about it is that I look exactly the same. Thank you. We're gonna have some questions, and I hopefully will have some answers. And the person who has the best question, I will. Yes, hold it. I will give my banana to.
We went to the left that banana too, so it's a special.
It was the whole thing, guys. You don't even understand. Whoever wins it, I'll let you know.
Yes, okay, so we have a signed banana, which will be put on the front of the stage as a teaser for people when they come up to ask questions, knowing that that is the potential
Prize.
award. Thank you. You know, I make clocks. I've got some clocks at my table that I made in the last couple of weeks, and we've sold 4 of them. Did you buy one?
I did. I bought the first one.
You did buy the first one.
One you had made the day before.
Oh, yes, that's right. Well, I'm sorry about the fact that I'm still going to stick you in the eye with it. Yeah, all right. Yes, you got the one I made on Thursday,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So if you want a really nice remembrance of this incredible hour that you're going to have with me, come and buy one of my clocks, or I sell my underwear, and my wife is very proud of me, and I say to her, it's putting the kids through college, you know, my selling my underwear, so just shut the fuck up. You know, I mean, she can't sell her underwear. Well, she could, but that would be really creepy. Okay, enough about the underwear, enough about the banana. Yes, do you have a question?
Yeah, tell us about your kids in college. What year? Where do they go? You know?
My kids, I have 2 kids, that's right. Oh, you saw the sign on my table about...
You just said you had, yeah.
I just said that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I said that I had 2 kids in college?
Maybe not, I don't know.
Oh my God. Yes, I do have 2 kids in college. Well, my son is going to Cambridge University in England. He's a physics major, and he's doing physics research there with Cambridge. And my daughter, who's 24, is studying to be a veterinarian at University of Colorado. And she works part-time while she's in school at a emergency clinic for animals, and she wants to be a vet for the large animals. And she was up till 1 in the morning yesterday taking blood samples of sheep. And for some reason, I don't know why, because she didn't tell us why she's taking blood samples of sheep. I think it's something to do with they're using the sheep, because I guess their DNA structure or something has something to do with, I know nothing about what either of them do. Half the time I don't even remember their names. Brian is my son, and Chelsea is my daughter. And my wife's name is Sherry. We've been married for 28 years, and there are children. We have no children for other relationships. And I'm just boring the crap out of you because I'm boring myself. But thank you for bringing that up. The sales of my underwear help pay for their parking pass, you know, at school, probably. But I find it delightful, and it makes me laugh, and it makes me, and I love to occasionally say to somebody who walks by my table, do you want to buy my underwear?
And you did to me yesterday.
Did I do that to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And
And I said, actually, kind of, yeah.
what was your initial reaction?
Yes. I think I said, kinda, yeah, actually.
Yeah. Did you buy my underwear?
No.
Get them. Get out of here. Why not? You mean I went through that whole thing with you and you didn't buy
You
them?
didn't have any towels for Halloween stuff.
Oh.
Mad at you.
I have a pair of them.
Is that
I'm from Chicago a couple years back.
my- Oh,
Maybe I need a fresher pair, I don't know.
Mike, are they displayed in like a shadow box or something? I want to know where you get
yeah.
these.
And what kind of reaction have you had from your friends when they see my underwear hanging? Are they on your wall?
Not yet, no. Probably puzzled. Probably more
But
puzzled.
they're not. Oh, wait a minute. You got them 2 years ago?
It was 2 or 3, because you guys went
2 or 3, and you haven't put them on the wall yet? What's wrong with
I
you?
found the right spot.
Haven't fun. It's above the toilet. That's where you put them. Put them above the toilet.
By the next show, I will have them above my toilet.
Okay. All right. Send me a picture. All right. Good. Yeah. So yeah, years ago, there was a shadow cast at the Tiffany Theater in Los Angeles, one of the first big shadow casts, and they invited me down to a screening, and they presented me with a gold record. The album had gone gold just recently, and I presented them with a pair of my underwear as a gift to the cast in the theater. And I was reminded years later of what I had done, and so I thought, well, this just makes me giggle. I just love this. So I just started figuring out where I can get the cheapest underwear. So I go to Target, I get a, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But
They also have to look like the ones you wore, so it has to be a very specific type.
Oh, they do. They have to be fruit of the loom.
That's right.
Because I think that's what I wore in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think I will. Well, it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. So that's all.
It fills me with joy.
What?
It fills me with joy too.
Does it?
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
I'm welcome. How are you guys? Cool. My God. You've missed nothing. Nothing. I've just been bullshitting here for the last 20 minutes and drinking coffee. But you're here. Do you have a question for me? But you don't know. Wait, first of all, you don't know what the award is going to be for the best question. Okay. I have a signed banana. Okay. A signed banana, and whoever comes up with the best question gets the signed banana. So, put your heads together, all 5 of you. Come up, you're putting them together. That's very literal. That's good. Good, so come up with a good question. The question about my children? No. I mean, it was informational. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I remembered their names, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, okay. Do you have a question back here?
I want to know, when you were making Rocky Horror Picture Show, at any point during the filming, was the intimacy between you and Janet real?
Is she saying, was I shagging Janet?
Yes, she
Is
is.
that what she was saying? No, I can't answer that. It was the 70s, you know. First of all, none of us knew what we were doing. You know. There was a lot of marijuana. I think that's what we called it back then. And Meatloaf tried to get me hooked on cocaine, which I refused to do. One day in the car going to the set, he pulled out some cocaine and said, "Hey, try it." And I said, I actually snuffed it up my nose, pretending I was actually snuffing up my nose, and I never, and then I said, "Oh, this does nothing for me." You know, so I never did it. I said, it's a waste of, to me it would have been a waste of money and And I probably would have killed everybody in the car on the way to the studio or something, you know, because I just don't trust myself on drugs. Tequila on the is another issue. I mean, you give me some tequila and you'll be my friend forever. Yeah. God, this is really nothing. This is nothing. I'm sorry, you guys. Why are you here? You're here to come up with the best question for the banana man here. Okay, it's time for questions. Yes, sir.
Do you wear the underwear before selling it?
Do I wear the underwear before selling it? I would do it for you, but I would charge you double. Yeah. Not quite a banana question, but sort of apropos to a banana question. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Have you ever done a photo op in just the underwear?
A photo op with no, but I've done photo ops where people have bought my underwear and they put them on their head. Those are some of the funnest photo ops where I say, I'll sell you my underwear, but you have to walk around the convention with my underwear on your head like a hat. And they do it. What's wrong with you people? My God, you know, they'll just do anything. And then if they have like a professional photo op, they'll put it on their heads, and you know, why not? We're right? I mean, that's it. You know, we're not here to do anything else other than enjoy ourselves. I'm not so sure that that's a banana question. We're going to put them all in the hopper, you know, we're going to put it in the fruit basket toward the end. All right, anybody else? Yes?
How did you get the role as Brad, or like what was the audition process like?
I didn't audition. They just offered it to me. I went and met them when it was being done in LA at a theater there.
The Roxy, right?
What's that?
The Roxy?
The Roxy, right. And it was the casting director, a guy named Joel Thurm, who cast a lot of the big movies in the 70s. He cast Grease and a couple other of these big ones. And he's actually writing a book on being a casting director during that era. And it should be quite fascinating because he knew everybody, and he's willing to say anything because he's got nothing to lose. He's no longer casting, and so he was close friends with my manager, Bob Lamond, who handled myself, Travolta, when Travolta was quite young, Patrick Swayze, a bunch of other guys, you know, sort of young guys from the theater, and his idea was that he would put me together with Susan, and so he had us both come in to just meet them one afternoon at the theater. Meet them meaning the director and I guess the producers, and I didn't have to do anything other than say hello, but they asked Susan to sing Happy Birthday. And I think she already had the part. Nobody really knew it, but they just wanted to see if she could carry a tune at all. And I thought she did a good job. I mean, I thought her tone and her singing voice was just perfect for Janet. Whenever I see a stage cast of it, and I see the Janet just belting out these songs, I'm going, oh, that's just not quite right. You know, I thought Susan was more on point with the sort of shyness, you know, until the end when she's just a whore. You know, there's no kids here, are there? Okay, good. Just I can get really rude. And little children run away screaming. You know, that's how I got it, And we got it, and we went to England, and the moment we got off the plane, Susan and I, who, by the way, I'm not going to tell you about my relationship with at the moment, but that's close to the banana question, I must say. We went right into rehearsals within 10 hours, and we were pre-recording, and we were doing it. It was a very low-budget movie, there was no messing around. We were there quickly, and we shot the movie in 4 weeks or 5 weeks or something, and then we all left. Unfortunately, they didn't give us anything to take home with us other than a wonderful memory. I mean, I wish I had my high heels. They would have come in handy many times since then. I mean, you can't find 4.5-inch high heels in size 12 just anywhere. You have to go to the hooker stores on Hollywood Boulevard, where I went and got my high heels.
Does anyone else have any questions right now? Yes.
Yes. No. Yeah. You. No. But.
Is there any movie or franchise that you wish you could have been a part of?
A movie and franchise, I did a movie called Megaforce, and has anybody seen Megaforce? Yes, thank you. 1, 2. Megaforce was a movie that we made in 1982 or 1983. Hal Needham directed it, who had done Smoking the Bandit, all these big, stunt guy. And we did this movie, and it was not a success. Let's put it that way. It was one of the first G.I. Joe movies. I was Ace Hunter, the head of Megaforce, and in fact, we're making a documentary now. It's called The Documentary Nobody Was Asking For, and it's true. But what's interesting about it is it's really the focus of the documentary is on this one guy, Bob Lindenmeyer, who fell in love with this movie when he was 12. And he really fell in love with the good guy, bad guy aspect of it. And it changed his life. Well, how can you change a life? 10-year-old, 12-year-old, I mean, your life's just starting, but it affected him in his whole life. And so he started collecting the Megaforce vehicles. We have motorcycles, we have these dune buggy little things, and he has collected 3 of the motorcycles and two or three of the dune buggy things. He's got my original motorcycle, my original helmet, and all these every toy that's ever been made about it. And so the thrust of the documentary is he basically wants to relive his life when he was 12 because it was such a wonderful time for him. And I'm in it just trying to remember what the hell we did in 1982. So it's a nice contrast. In fact, we're going to do the Indianapolis convention, I think next month or something, and we're going to show the movie, and we're going to show the trailer for the documentary. And so look for it. Go to Megaforce HQ is his website, and we just have hundreds of people following us. But the point is that I had a 3-picture deal for them, and we did 1 picture, and it was such a flop that I never got the 2nd and 3rd. And that's when the money was going to kick in. So I wish it had worked, so that I could have done 2nd and 3rd, because it was a good concept of ill-performed, and perhaps one of my worst performances since Metal Beast. I'm not perfect, I do certain things, and it's so much of it has to do with the script. And the Megaforce script, we were writing in the car on the way to the set every morning, and we were improvising all these little lines, like the good guys always win, even in the 80s, things like that, and so but the hardware, the vehicles are brilliant. They were so forward-looking that the Army wouldn't even let our movie have any of their vehicles for the background and stuff, because they thought that they didn't want to reveal some of the design aspects of some of our weapons, which were actually designed by Mattel Toys, and and in fact the whole movie was the genesis of it, I think, was Mattel Toys wanting to make action figures and, you know, selling vehicles and all that kind of stuff. And they actually designed my costume and our costumes for it. And they put me in, what's that real thin material that was?
Spandex?
Spandex. Yeah.
Spandex.
I was in spandex. And we were out in the desert in the middle of the night outside Vegas. It was freezing. And so I don't like them, the Mattel toy people, because they didn't think of me. They thought of toys. And they thought that I was a toy to be played with. Well, I'm not a toy to be toyed with.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know about your experience filming Sleigh Bells.
Sleigh Bells.
Yes, sir.
This is a Christmas movie.
I love my Christmas horror.
Has anybody seen Sleigh Bells?
One.
Just God, I've got
Two.
I've got 2 sleigh bells, one monster thing, and Sleigh Bells was a movie that was directed and I think sort of written by Spooky, not Spooky. What was his name? Who directed? You don't know. No. Why do you even bring this up then? You know,
Because you were a great Santa.
well, I played a biker Santa.
Yes.
A biker Santa, and
Yes.
and who was the monster in that?
Don't remember.
No, but I mean, what was the character? It was that famous.
Krampus.
Huh?
Krampus.
Krampus. Krampus. You know who Krampus is?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this was a movie where it was about Krampus, you know, fighting real Christmas, and I played a biker Santa, and then I became the real Santa, and it was one of those movies that we shot, and the guy who directed it was Darren Bousman's.
Oh, right. From
Darren
Saw.
Bousman's assistant, and
I know.
had worked with Darren for a number of
Yeah.
things. And do you know who Darren Lynn Bousman is? I did a couple of things for him. I did Tales of Halloween. I did The Devil's Carnival, Hallelujah. Did everybody see that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's really good, isn't it? It's just too bad that it didn't get a wider, distribution. The music's fabulous in it, and
It's very cinematic, too.
very cinematic. So if you have a chance to check that one out, The Devil's Carnival, Hallelujah. I play a character named the Watchword, and he's very devious and sarcastic and not far from who I really am. Yes, the Watchword. So, but getting back to Sleigh Bells. Sleigh Bells was such a low-budget movie. I mean, I think Darren kicked in, $10,000 or something for it, and we didn't even have enough money to finish it, and it took him 2.5 years to sort of finish it and finally get it distributed, and then 4 people saw it. I think the 4 people in this room saw it.
All 2 of us.
But it's actually, it's sort of a fun movie.
It's adorable, and first of all, I love the title, because it's like sleigh like the murder, not the vehicle.
Right.
And bell like the beauty. right?
right.
It's such a cute title, and it's a very cute movie,
Is
and
it?
I love the Christmas horror, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, it was a horror movie. I've done some horror movies, haven't I?
Yes, Tales of Halloween, Sleigh Bells.
Yeah. Metal Beast.
Metal Beast.
Okay. Yeah.
And that is why you are here at Days of the Dead.
Days of the Dead.
Uh-huh.
Is that where we are?
That's where we are.
Okay. All right. Wait. Just look what you've done. Damn you. Damn it. Days of the
Please say
Dead.
damn it.
Okay. Do we have another question? Yes.
I kind of have two. What is one of your favorite moments within filming Rocky Horror that you cherish forever? And also, who was the bigger diva on set? Was it Richard O'Brien or Tim Curry? Walter?
Okay, I got the first part. What was the second part? Who was the biggest what?
Diva on set. Richard O'Brien or
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
The biggest what?
Diva.
Diva?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, certainly not Tim. Tim's not a diva at all, Tim Curry. He's a real working actor and was working hard, and we became buddies, and he was one of the few people there that actually welcomed us into the family.
He originated it too, so this was like his baby.
Oh yeah, well he'd been doing it forever, and so he was, he'd been doing it on stage in London and then in LA, and I have to say Richard O'Brien, he wasn't really a diva. He was just strange. I mean, he's a very strange, lovable character. I mean, and the movie is just a reflection of his life. The whole sort of gender bending kind of thing that he was into, and he combined that with his love for the 50s movies and the musicals of the time and the old horror movies and this and that, and he just put them all together, and this came out, and that's why you'll never see something like this again, because it sprung from his mind of degeneration. No, he's not a degenerate. Don't even listen to me. I saw him a couple years ago in New Zealand. He's basically lives in New Zealand on a ranch now, and he owns the rights for the stage version. So he goes around and produces the stage version of the Rocky Horror Show. And I think now it's billed as Richard O'Brien's Rocky Horror Show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because they screwed him out of the movie before it went into midnight. They bought him out, so he really has nothing to do with the success of the film, and doesn't really want to do anything. So that's why you don't see him at these conventions and things,
Right. That's understandable.
Yeah, sure, but
Well,
he's making a few bucks off the stage show, I think.
the stage show is fantastic. Has anybody seen the stage show? Not the shadow cast, the actual show. Yes? Two? Oh, guys, if you ever have the opportunity to see the Rocky Horror Show, please do. It is such an experience, really.
Yeah.
It's slightly different. There's a couple of different songs in it. Some things are mixed. Sweet Transvestite comes first, but yeah, it's really worth it.
It could be good. Unfortunately, what happens with these things is that they play them like cartoons.
Yeah.
They really go over the top with them. And it's the same thing. I did a show called Grease way back when. And I created the part of Danny Zuko on Broadway. And all the subsequent productions of Grease, the characters just get wider, bigger, louder.
Cartoon.
Yeah, just really caricatures. And when we first did it was Grease. I'm saying it was a little tougher. I mean, the language was tougher. And in fact, when it was originally done in Chicago, it was really about a couple of gangs. And the guy who Zuko was based on, ended up in jail. I think he's dead now. But and then they fluffed it up for Broadway, but still kept some of the edge. And now the edge is, the edge is gone. And the edge on Rocky Horror is somewhat blurred also, I think, because they want to make it into this big Easter egg thing. When it only works, really, if you take all these characters totally serious. You can't comment on something that's already commenting, in Richard O'Brien's mind. And so that's, but I'm waiting for somebody to do a really interesting production of Rocky Horror. And not in a high school, which always surprises me when a high school does the Rocky Horror Picture Show, or they'll do Grease and they'll cut all the bad stuff out, but all the 16-year-old girls still want to play sluts, and the guys all want to be gangers, and it's everybody wants to imitate Tim most of the time because it was such a strong performance. And I'm waiting for somebody to reimagine that, and come up with
There
it.
can never be another one. I mean, Tim
No,
was an original
no.
on that.
And that Fox reboot, did you see the Fox reboot?
I've only seen parts of it. I haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it sucked. It was horrible. It was horrible. It was so over the top,
Yeah.
It was so big and splashy, and there were some good performances, but the whole idea.
Frank was very pretty in that. Like, he was very, very beautiful.
Who?
Whoever played Frankenfurter in that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think too beautiful for me.
Right. Well, I mean, that's a devilish character, Frankenfurter is really that's a demented somebody from another planet, and unless it's played dark and dangerous, it doesn't. I don't think it works. But it has worked. This movie just never ends. It's great.
Barry, how does it feel to be a part of something that's such a legacy and something that is still making a difference in people's lives today?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's I think we're most proud of, is that it's affected, society in some small way of being more accepting of the differences between us, sexually and
Whatever
socially.
the difference is, it doesn't matter. You don't dream it, be it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how, because everyone's different, and we all sometimes feel weird, right? No matter what that weirdness is. And
right.
that just lets you know that you're okay as you are.
Yeah, right. Well, and I love these shadow cats that go out, and all shapes and sizes will get up on stage and just do their thing. And I just love these kids. I'm their Uncle Barry. With these shadow cats. And if they only knew that Uncle Barry was leering at them from the side. He's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. But to see these kids, work through a lot of their insecurities and their inability to just be in front of people and be who they are, as you say. It's to me, it's. I really love them all for doing that, and the society that they have created around the world. These casts of, you could go to Germany, you could go to Japan, and find your people.
It's kind of like coming to a horror convention, Some of us have been friends for a while, but the only time we get to see each other is at Days of the Dead Atlanta, or Chicago, or wherever, and it's just one big reunion, and it's like we're with our tribe again. And we don't do that anywhere else, am I wrong? No?
Don't?
Yeah?
You don't?
Oh.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Since apparently we haven't had enough tequila to answer the question about Shaggy and Janet.
About shagging Janet?
Yeah, maybe you answered if we were shagging Frankenfurter.
Shagging Frankenfurter. Only in the movie, you know, and he was a great kisser.
So it wasn't all bad.
It wasn't all bad, you know. He was very respectful, you know, of my privacy, and I think it's why we became such good friends, because of what went on behind that curtain.
I'm going to talk with Michael J. Fox, which was right before Tim Curry had his own medical problems. Do you still talk to him as well?
Oh, Michael J.
No, Tim Curry. Do you still talk to him now?
I talk to him. I'll see him at a convention or something, and unfortunately, since he's had his stroke, it's really hard for him to get around. He has to have a handler, and he has to have a nurse, and he has to, you know, and it's hard on him. So I don't speak to him too much because I know that he has just a limited amount of energy, and he'd rather give it to the fans. But Tim is a lovely guy. He has a great sense of humor and wit. And if you ever get a chance to see him or have a picture taken with him or watch him in a Q&A like this, I think you'll be delighted. He's a great guy, and he's starting to get back to some voiceover work, I think. Yeah, yeah. He's got
Oh, that's wonderful.
He's got a little studio I set up in his place in LA. It's taken him a long time to get that mind, vocal,
mechanics.
to get it together. But he has such a distinct voice, and
It's a beautiful voice.
yeah. So I think he'll still do that, but you know, he's unfortunately not going to be doing Spam-A-Lot anytime soon. You know, he can't.
I saw Tim Curry in Spam-A-Lot on a preview in Chicago before I went to Broadway, and we were like 15 rows from the center, and it was a very magical experience. It was probably one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. It was so surreal. He's such a hero to me ever since I was a child. The Worst Witch, anyone? You know?
Yeah.
And I have all of his albums from the 70s and 80s, not just Rocky Horror, but the other music, and oh my gosh, it was magical.
He embraces talent. I mean, he is so wide. He has such a wide range in his personality to be able to do that clown it.
Yes,
it,
Pennywise.
Yeah, and then go ahead and do Clue. You know, where he's like non-ending, does talk. You know.
Yeah, it never started. So.
And I'm about to start a show, I think, with Leslie Ann Warren. Do you know who she is?
Yeah.
She was in Clue.
She was also in another movie with Tim Curry, though I don't think they had any scenes together, called Wolf Girl. Has anybody seen Wolf Girl? Thought not. Anyway,
Wolf Girl?
Wolf Girl.
Who was in that?
Tim Curry and Leslie Ann Warren.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
Oh, tell me.
It's streaming on Tubi. Check it out.
Really?
No, it was like originally an NBC movie of the week, maybe 20 years ago, like maybe a little longer, even maybe 98-ish, and it holds up. It's about a sideshow, a freak show, and
I'll have to look at it.
it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. I recommend anyone to watch it.
Well, Leslie Ann Warren is such a lovely actress, you know, and we worked a couple of times together. We did Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce. She played my wife in that, and a couple of, we just did a movie called Lady Parts about a month ago that she produced and starred in. And we're discussing with Ernest Thompson, who wrote On Golden Pond, to do a tour of that. Her and I, and Ernest would direct it, and we put together a real first class.
I'd go see that for sure.
You know, so do you guys know On Golden Pond? Yeah. I mean, it's a real sort of American classic. And I think Ernest Thompson, who wrote it, got an Academy Award for it, wants to not reimagine it, but just freshen it up a bit. And so he'll direct it. I'll play Norman, and she'll play Ethel or Edith or whatever. I should read it, shouldn't I, before I do it? Yeah. So, I mean, that's what we're sort of working towards now.
Guys, we have time for one more question, about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I saw that guy over there. He's been really wanting to ask one. So,
It's a non-banana question.
a non-banana question.
I was just curious, is your son Brian named after Richard O'Brien?
I'm sorry,
One more
what?
time.
Is your son's name Brian?
Oh.
My
His
son's name's Brian.
Is it named after Richard O'Brien?
Richard O'Brien by any chance?
No. I'll tell Richard O'Brien that. My daughter's name is Chelsea, and her name is sort of based on a director friend of mine, Peter Chelsom, who's English. And no, I wanted two Irishy kinds of names. And my wife wanted to call them, Kansas and Wyoming or something, and I said no. I mean, I know when I do these events occasionally, somebody comes up and says, well, can I sign it, something to them? And I go, well, okay, what's your name? And they go, Lisa. And I'll go, okay, how do you say L-I-S-A? Oh no, it's Lyessie. I go, oh, you just must hate your parents, for giving you that. So we wanted a couple of names that were easily, hi, my name's Brian, with an I, not a Y.
Right.
And anybody, if I see a Brian with a Y, I always tell them, that's wrong. You shouldn't. Is there a Brian with a Y in the room? Good. Yeah, you shouldn't be. Let's see, is there any other thing?
Okay, we need a banana question. Who has a banana question? You pick.
Yes.
So you said that all shave sizes, everyone's playing different characters in Rocky Horror. What would you say is the key to capturing the essence of Brad?
The key to casting Brad?
Yeah, just capturing that character. Like what's the essence of it?
Well, that's interesting. That's almost a banana question.
Right.
Now I have to come up with a banana answer, don't I? Well, he's a throwback. He's a real throwback to the 50s, and he's the kind of guy who would have been the president of the Republican Club, right, in high school, and very sort of self-confident and egotistical in a way, but courteous towards, because he never shagged his girlfriend. Those are the days that you wouldn't happen today. I mean, if Susan Sarandon was my fiance, we wouldn't have made it out of that other person's wedding without, finding some way to get intimate. That's not to say that I did. I'm just saying
Way to
that,
bring it back around.
Here, I'm just saying that maybe, that would have happened. So there's a certain stalwartness to him. There's a certain posture. He's willing to stand up. Somebody who is willing to stand up for his points of view, even though they might be flawed or from that time. And then you have to see that he has the ability to just become confused, right? I mean, he just gets confused, and he doesn't know. By the end, he doesn't know what to believe. His world has been turned upside down and shaken, and his girlfriend has become a real whore, and so he doesn't know really how to deal with that. I think probably post Rocky Horror he becomes the governor of Florida, something like that, you know, and then, you know, is diddling guys in the men's room at the local park, you know, and not admitting it, you know, and hasn't been caught yet, or they find a way to hide it. And I think he's got to have a nice, simple voice, a voice. Singing voice that, because the real bombastic singing is got to be the Richard O'Brien character, and of course Tim's character, which he's got the best song at the end in the whole movie, you know, I'm Going Home, which is he just is brilliant in, you know, and you almost feel sorry for him at that time. And you have forgotten that he's, you know, an S&M monster, you know, but might say, well, S&M is okay, you know, and I think that's what he was saying, you know, as a character, you know, but I'm not an advocate of that, and I wouldn't think that Brad was an advocate of that until maybe the last scene in the movie. As he's crawling around in the mud, he's probably going, well, this sort of feels good, you know?
It's good being dirty.
Yeah. Well, I have to say,
It's the banana.
I have to say that the banana, let's see. Ready?
No.
Okay, I'll give it to him. No, did you want it? Yeah, okay. You know, but
That's the only question you couldn't answer.
I wish I had 2 bananas. I only have 1 banana. And I'm sorry, if you'd like to share the banana, you know, just cut it in half and I'll leave the room. Thank you guys for coming out so early on a Sunday, and you left church early to come here, I'm sure. And come and visit me in the other room, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks. And thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it.